Okay, now let's recreate the project Echo game. So we're going to practice what we learned in our very first lesson. So to create a new project, you can click on this button here, New Project, or you can go to the menu File and click on New Project. So both will do the same thing. So let's this time click on this new project icon. So Java with Maven, Java application will be the type of the project that we're going to create. Click on Next. We're going to create or we'll open a window for us. What's the project name? I'm going to choose Echo Game to be my project name. That was the folder or the location that your project is stored. You can choose a different place by clicking on Browse button. I'm going to stick with what the default place is, but that means that's where you can find all the source files and outputs and other information regarding related to your project. What's the group ID? For now, I'm just putting games. We're going to talk about the group ID version and packages in more details later. So finish, and again, we have our first project created. So we talk about these comments here. For now, we're going to just delete the very first 4 lines, and then we talk about the packages and something we need to work on. Here, what we care and what's important to us is what's inside these curly braces for the main method. Everything that we're gonna like to run will be written inside these curly braces. And we wanted to develop the Echo game that is just printing whatever we just read from the keyboard. As remember, because we're going to read from the keyboard, we need to call someone to bring that tool for us. And that was using the import keyword. So import java.util.scanner. And then here, inside the main method, I'm going to create a variable. That's what we talk of how to define a variable. First, you need to tell what is the type of the variable, and then what is the name. And I'm using the KB, standing for keyboard. Or you can choose just the keyboard. That also fine. So scanner, keyboard, and it's gonna be the new scanner, and inside a pair of parentheses, system.in. That's a mystery for now. We're gonna talk about it later. Okay, now we define the variable keyboard. Now we're gonna read something from the keyboard and print it or echo it. That's gonna be our first game. Now let's define variables of different types. Let's start with an integer. Integer, let's call it num to be equal to keyboard, and I'm going to use the dot operator. Oh, wrong. And then dot, and here I'm going to use the next integer. Okay, so I'm going to echo the value that I just read. So I'm going to say system.out.println, and I'm going to print num. I don't like it yet. Why? Because here I just asking the user to enter a number, but I never ask them really. So let's print a message. Okay, let's be informative to the user and provide them information. So system.out.println, and then enter a number. And now here I'm reading a number, and I'm gonna print that number. Okay, so that is echo. Okay, you might ask what I'm doing here now. I'm just concatenating 2 pieces of information together. Yeah, that's a new thing, of course. So echo here is a text, right? Because we have included or surrounded with a double quotation. We learned that anything that comes inside a double quotation, it is a string or just a sequence of characters. Then here we have the plus, and here we have the num. Before we learned that if we have a number and we have a plus on the left side or on the other side, we should see a number. But that's Java. That's how it works. This plus here means I'm going to concatenate this number, whatever it is, to this text here. So, and I'm going to put one space here in order to have the better visibility here. Okay, now let's just run our first program and see that how it works. Okay, enter a number. Let's enter 28. And here our first game that we just developed. Enter a number 28 and our program just echoes that number 28. The game that you're going to design will be the same echo game. However, instead of reading an integer from the keyboard, you're going to read a number, a double number, and a float number. I will post a solution for that game as well. However, I am asking you to develop that game first.